Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Nissan Juke NISMO in multiplayer. Now, I tested this car alongside the Honda Integra in a video a while back, but I decided to upgrade it and see how it would do at a higher rank. So, my rank is 1077, my tuning is 0405, and in Pro Kits I have 1515, because this is a nitro efficient car. So, the first three races in this video are from a while back, and the last three races in the video are from more recently. So this one was from a while back when I was racing Dr. Illusion in my Juke, and he was in his Porsche 959. So his Porsche 959 was at a rank of 1096, and in this race he was just running a tuning kit. There's also another Porsche 959 in the race with a rank of 1074 who was running both tuning kit and nitro starter. So I took a little bit of a weird route here. It turned out to be okay though, because my speed was pretty good throughout most of it. So the Juke can reach a speed a little over 10 miles per hour slower than the Porsche 959. A 959 at this rank can reach almost 220 miles per hour. This can reach 208. So just like the Porsche 959, the Juke has a low raw top speed without nitro, enabling it to corner very well. It also has a few other traits a lot like the 959. It's nitro reliant, its handling is decent, if not the greatest, and its acceleration is very good. While not being quite as fast as the 959's, it is still pretty good for comparison. So here, Dr. Illusion in his 959 and the other 959 were catching up to me fairly quickly. Again, this car is about 10 miles per hour or so slower, but I managed to take the turns pretty well, and thankfully at this point I got a perfect run right when I needed it. And so, even though he was catching up extremely quickly, I managed to beat him and the other 959. While the 959 will usually beat the Juke is still competitive enough to beat it in some cases. So yes, I'd say that was pretty good. Now on to a race against another Porsche 959 and an SLK this time. So here I did what any other good driver would do who wasn't driving an SLK, and went and knocked down the SLK. Even if it does not really help you win the race, because the SLK is so ridiculously fast that it can catch up, it may fluster them, and it will also give you another 5 seconds or so of extra time. He may wreck again or something. I mean, before in my 959 video, on one lap on London, or one of the London tracks, the SLK wrecked once and I managed to beat him. So yeah, just knocking down the SLK could do quite a big difference if you're on a short track that is twisty. But as you can see here, this is a fairly long track, at least for slow cars, and the SLK has already managed to pass me. That is what will usually happen. Sometime very soon, I will be uploading a test of the 1285 SLK, which is my previous tune but with maxed top speed, so keep an eye out for that. I actually raced Dr. Illusion in his that was tuned similarly, and it didn't go so great for me, because it was my first time playing in that SLK, and he's had many months more of experience. But we'll see if we can race him again in his live stream, because that happened in my live stream. So we lost to this 1122 SLK, but we did beat a 1080 959, who was not running a tuning kit, but did have a nitro starter and an extra tank. So in this race, we are facing two Range Rovers on one lap on San Diego Harbor. Whenever I played in this car, I always voted one lap, because it has better acceleration than Range Rovers and pretty much anything else around this rank except 959s and Donkervoorts. So I figured it would be a good way to ward off some of the faster cars with slower acceleration. And I have to say, this Juke is a pretty fun car to drive. It doesn't really feel like driving an SUV at all. It feels a lot like driving the Range Rover, which funnily enough is also an SUV that does not feel like an SUV. They both are quite nimble, a lot more than some of their car counterparts, so I've always thought that was rather strange. So I have taken the safe route on San Diego Harbor Reverse, and we are coming up to the end of the race. Let's see what the cars were that I beat. There was a 1087 Range Rover, which is Dr. Illusion's tune, but he wasn't boosted, and that's probably why he didn't catch up. A Range Rover at this rank is about 10 miles per hour faster or so. Now, at the beginning of this race, the 959 and Range Rover both went toward me, but I didn't get knocked down. And yeah, this race ended up being actually quite hectic at the beginning of these turns here because we were all going around the same speed. The Range Rover was going slightly faster, and the Porsche 959s, who weren't actually boosted, I believe, were going around the same speed as me. Yeah, it was a bunch of nitro wiggling, and it was just a bit crazy, and I'm honestly surprised I survived and did not get knocked down any of the time. And I have a little pro maneuver right there. By the way, because I recorded the first 3 races in this video a while back, they are in close cam and they were in the off season as well. But don't worry, the next 3 races are in off season and they are more recent, and I am also using action cam in them, which, as I said in previous videos, seems to be better overall for driving in Asphalt 8. It allows you to see more around you. You're put a little bit higher up so you can see better directly in front of you. And yeah, it just seems to be an all-around better view. So this Range Rover ahead of me ends up being a 1058, who was actually triple boosting during off-season, which I still find kind of weird. I can only imagine they put it on for an event which really needs extra tank, and then he just decided to play some multiplayer as well. The only times I've run extra tank off-season are when there was an event that gave really good rewards and I really needed to run the extra tank for it. And also, maybe a couple times in a special event like an R&D or whatever that needed it. But yeah, it's very rare. So we lost to this triple boosted 1058 Range Rover, but beat 2 unboosted 959s. This is the first of the 3 most recent races, so I don't know if you will be able to tell a real difference in driving, but you can certainly tell that the camera view is different. I guess this wasn't intentional, but this is a kind of video showing how I drove a few months ago, because this is one of those videos that I was just saving for a rainy day, you might say, when I didn't really have much else to upload. I find that to be a good idea. If you always have one video mostly edited together that you can just kind of get together and put out on the spur of a moment, then you really don't ever have to worry about not having a video for a long time, because you can pull out your backup video then. And yeah, that seems to be a pretty safe way to do YouTube. Just a little tip for all of you guys who may be getting started. So this car ahead of us is an SLK Special Edition. You probably figured that out because of just how far it was getting ahead and just how fast. I'm not exactly sure how fast the SLK at this rank goes, but it's probably at least 50 miles per hour faster than what I'm going. And even though he wrecked and took a long time to get up to speed, he is already gone. So this left route on Patagonia I found is usually better for, number 1, slower cars, and also those that drift badly, because if you go to the right, there are some hairpin curves that a very badly drifting car such as the SLK, for example, might not be able to get around. Even though this ramp right here does cause you to lose a lot of speed, I do think it is better for bad drifting cars still than going to the right. Now, if you have terrible acceleration as well, I think it still does, because you have to get back up to speed again after going around those tight turns. So we lost to an 1135 triple boosted SLK, but we beat a 1011 triple boosted Renault Desire. So now for an interesting race on Alps against a Porsche 959, a bike, and a Donkervoort. So the Donkervoort still does start up slightly faster than the 959, but the 959's greater speed makes up for it, and so the Donkervoort didn't actually manage to pass him. So this is an example of what will usually happen if you take out a Juke against a 959. You will manage to stay very close to them, but you will probably not manage to beat them. Those 2 that I beat in the first race was, I'd say, kind of a rare occurrence, because, yeah, this car is just slower and accelerates slower, and cannot really beat them usually unless the 959 driver makes a mistake. But it's definitely not as great of a speed difference as with the SLK, which this car, as well as pretty much every other car around this rank, has no chance whatsoever of beating. So the section on Alps that I just went over has some places where you can brake and triple tap before going up a ramp or a bump in the road to get better speed. Now, I don't think it really works in slow cars like this one, because you don't actually go off the ground enough to go out of nitro and then triple tap when you land, which is really where you get the big speed increase from. So we beat the Donkervort and the other cars, but lost to a triple boosted 1062 Porsche 959. Now for our final race in the video, which is against another 959 and a couple more noob cars. So I guess now I'll give my general review on this car. It is worth it, I would say, because it didn't actually cost too many credits, because I do believe it was a credit car, and it does perform fairly well in multiplayer if you really do not have anything else around this rank. It also does pretty well around 900 rank, which is where you get to if you just upgrade nitro, exhaust, and suspension. And honestly, because of all the SLKs going around, down there would probably be a better idea for this car. So yesterday I posted a video about me winning the BMW S1000R, the bike in its R&D, and that was a very difficult R&D, and I think a lot of people did not actually manage to win it. However, I will be testing it in multiplayer very soon, and as I said in a previous video, it does appear to have a pretty good speed for its rank, and the supercharge adds an extra 10 miles per hour, so I do think it will become one of the best bikes for multiplayer in the game. So thank you all for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 videos. And we beat a triple boosted 1087 959. Nice! And I will see you later. Goodbye!